What's up, Fame Magazine? I'm Luis Fonsi. Welcome to El Viaje. Well, this album is album number 11. It's conceived and it's born during my 25th anniversary as an artist. So it just kind of came in that time where I felt as though I needed to do something special. And El Viaje, which could be translated as the trip, but I see it more, a better translation as the journey. It's sort of my way of saying this has been my journey, my physical journey of sort of, visiting these cities, these songs, but also my emotional and personal journey, because I've grown up while I've been doing this beautiful thing called music in this career. So I had this idea to write an album where each song was a city, was a place that's obviously important to me, where I've lived important parts of my life, and the thing about it is that each song is not necessarily it's not really about the city. It's not all about the city. It's just a story. They're all different stories that just kind of fly by this city for in some sort of way. And it was cool. It was cool to kind of create this journey, to celebrate and to remember all these beautiful things I've been through in these beautiful places. A lot of them were left out because there are only 12 songs, but I'm really proud of this one. So I've always said it, I love collaborating, I love celebrating, sharing ideas, melodies, songs with people I respect, whether they are legends and icons like Carlos Vives and like Laura Pausini, or up and coming artists who are doing amazing things and who are on their way to be legends and icons like Jay Wheeler and Omar Montes. There's really no specific reason, or plan as to why these four. It just kind of happens, it all has to do with the moment, with the song, with the relationship that I have with them. Like in Laura's case, she's one of my favorite people on earth, as a singer and as a person. And when I sat down to write for this album, I specifically, sat down one day to write a song thinking of her voice and my voice together. And that's how Roma was born. And I was blessed that she accepted this invitation and that we were able to sing this really special song. In the case of Carlos Vives, I've always wanted to work with him because I respect him so much. And I consider him a great, great friend. But it wasn't until we were finished writing the song that a little light popped in my head. I was like, wow, this song would sound perfect, with Carlos Vives. So we kind of created it around him once the song was, almost being finished. And so on. There are different, ways to go about it. Sometimes the song comes first, sometimes the idea comes first. But I just love celebrating people who I respect, and I'm blessed that they trusted me to share a song with them. Yeah, so Santa Marta was the cherry on top. It was the icing on the cake. It was the very last song that was conceived for this album. It was actually written literally a week before we had to turn everything in. I was in LA with my producers, Andres Torres and Mauricio Rengifo. We were really just finishing up mixes, background vocals, doing comps, just kind of doing the last minute polishing of an album that we had been recording, for a full year or even more. And one afternoon, we grabbed the guitar and Santa Marta was written. And we loved it so much that we actually said, what if we add this to this album, If we start producing it now, we should have it there on time. And then I was like, wait a minute, and why don't we add Carlos Vives to this? Because it sounds like Carlos Vives, and we can add an accordion, and we can do this, and we can kind of make it, a song that sounds like his world and my world, came together in a perfect, beautiful love song. And it was one of these things that we were just blessed that everything fell into place. Because it was, if we really thought about it, it was impossible to get it all done in time for Carlos to accept, for him to basically accept and go running to the studio and record it right then and there. And he did it because he's awesome and he's the best. So it came together, and it's one of my favorite songs. And it's a song perfect, to celebrate love, anniversary, wedding. It's a wedding song. It just celebrates that moment when you realize that you have somebody special in front of you and a relationship starts. So we did a really fun video shoot, something different that I had never done, and I think there's a big opening, there's a big gap there for these kind of positive love songs that you can dedicate to your loved one. I mean, when I think of this song, I think of my wife. There are many times that you automatically you have to think back to what you're living and try to get inspiration out of that. So thank God I've been married for 10. I have to think about it. I've been married for 10 years now. I've known my wife for 14, and I have a beautiful, amazing, normal, and healthy marriage, and I celebrate that every day of my life. So when I have to find inspiration, I just look to the beautiful lady that's by my side, and she gives me all the inspiration I need. I think, evolution is a beautiful thing, and it's 25 years of music, and it's 25 years where not only have I grown up, but just music has evolved in the way we listen to music and the way we buy music and the way we share the music. My first album came out. My first album, I recorded all 10 songs in one day. Let me just start off by that. It was 10 songs that were given to me by my record label. I didn't really, I was too afraid to say anything. I was just like, yeah, whatever you guys want me to do, I'll do it. I was still a junior in college. I was studying music, and all I wanted to do was record and be heard. And I did like the album and the songs very much, but I had no say. I had no voice, as far as who I was working with or what songs I was singing. My first album came out in cassette and in CD, and then after that, just the world has completely changed. Now I'm completely involved. I write my music, I produce my music, I'm writing about things that I've lived, because now I've had a chance to live a little bit. I've gone through the ups and downs of life, and all of that I use for what for my writing, for the emotion behind every lyric and every melody. So yeah, it's quite a big change if I was to compare Viaje, my latest album, with my first one. I think it's two different worlds, it's two different people, but the passion is still the same, the energy is still the same, the nerves, the respect for the stage and for my audience, that's still the same. So those things don't change, but the creative side changes quite a bit.